This is the 2002 robot synoptic display, which incorporates a emergency push button, 3 electromechanical switches, 1 for stopping the cycle, 1 for starting the cycle, 1 for reset. A 3-position switch for raising and lowering the film carriage, a 3-digit display, battery indicator, your main on-off switch, a synoptic display which has LEDs which indicate faults on the robot, your 4 basic programs, parameter setting keys, cycle setting keys, and 2 keys for increasing or decreasing the value of whichever parameter or cycle setting that you're adjusting. Your main on-off switch, when you turn off the unit, turn it back on, the first thing that will come up is the version of EEPROM, in this case 2.7, then it will go to reset. You cannot perform any manual functions on the robot until you hit reset. Upon hitting reset, you then be able to set the parameters and cycle parameters as well. 4 basic programs. The first one we'll set is program 1. We come over, we'll set the traction speed, which can be set in USA measurements from 120 feet per minute to as much as 260 feet per minute. By pushing minus or the plus, we can increase or decrease that parameter. In this case, increase 260 feet per minute. Next we have the pre-stretch amount between 0 and 250%. This particular robot is a PFS model, has a pre-stretch capability of 250%. Next we'll set the number of bottom wraps, number of top wraps, then we can set the film carriage speed going up and going down, which are independent. Speed going up, 12 feet per minute, going down, 12 feet per minute. The next button, force to load, which we can set between 0 and 100. Next we have a data out button. Push this successfully, this will give indications as the number of pallets that have been wrapped. There also is a position there that will tell you the battery voltage. Push it again, and we have the battery voltage. Set function, which can set all the parameters back to default and return back. By pushing any other button, we'll get out of that particular button. Next we have the cycle selection. F1 is a functional cycle for large pallet sizes. The next button is for the intermediate wrap. We set this, the minimum setting is 22.5, which is the amount of distance for your film carriage. We go up from there. We can go as high as 92 inches. Whatever value we set that at, that's where the film carriage, when it gets to that distance, will make an intermediate wrap equal to the number of bottom wraps. Next we have where the film carriage will start. This is from the bottom of the pallet. Obviously the minimum setting is 0. If we go up any value, before the cycle will actually start wrap, the robot will start wrapping the cycle, it will go up this amount of distance. Next, photocell delay. We can build in a delay to the photocell that when it gets to the top of the pallet, the switch will not change state for a few seconds, and this will allow extra film to be wrapped on the top of the pallet. Cycle selection, wrapping from the bottom to the top and back down, or from the bottom to the top and stop. Next, top sheet cycle. If this is depressed and the LED is on, it will wrap all the way to the top, come back down slightly, stop, allow the operator to put a top sheet on the pallet. At that point they would hit the start cycle again, and it would wrap back to the top and continue down and finish the cycle. Okay, some specialized functions that the 2002 robot has is, one of the items that we can do is to exclude the photocell and go by height only. In this case, it would use an inductive prox as an encoder on the film carriage motor. The way we do that is push and hold this button for 3 seconds until it starts flashing, the LED is flashing. At that point, we then set a height. If you need the pallet set at 48 inches, simply increase that value to what we want, 48. And at that point, the photocell is excluded. It will wrap height only. Wrap to that height, stop, and then continue to cycle back down if we have it set such. To turn the photocell back on, again, push and hold, and it goes back to its original setting. One more thing to note about the snuff display is on the battery indicator. When you see that only the red section of the indicator is lit up, not flashing, just the red indicator solid on, at that point the battery is approximately between 20 and 40% of its charge. It must be charged at that time. If it's not charged at that time, you'll get a successive error of E80, which will tell you that the battery is being discharged. So you must charge it when you see the red light on steady by itself. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to set an actual wrapping cycle into the robot. First thing we want to do is turn the unit on, hit the reset. We're going to program 3. The first thing we want to do is we're going to set the traction speed. This is in feet per minute, 200 feet per minute, which is adequate. We're going to actually slow it down a bit, 190. Our pre-stretch amount is set at 50%. We're going to increase that to 150%. We're going to set our bottom wraps at 3, our top wraps at 3. Then we're going to set our film carriage speed. On the way going up, we'll leave it at the default value, which is 12 feet per minute. Coming down, we're going to want it to go a little faster. (15). Then we're going to set our force to load. 50 is our default. We're going to actually bump it up just a little bit to 70. We don't need the functional cycle. This is a standard pallet size. Intermediate wrap, we're going to set up a bit. We have a standard pallet which is about 48 inches high. And we're going to set it to about 30 inches. 30-31 inches is fine. And we're going to set where does the film carriage start. We want it to start at the very bottom of the pallet, so we're going to leave this at 0. And we're going to set our overlap, or the photocell delay. Bring that up a bit. Our cycle, which will go from the bottom to the top and back down. Top sheet cycle. We're going to go ahead and depress that. It's going to wrap to the top, stop, allow us to put a top sheet cycle on. And then we would press the start cycle again. It will continue to wrap back to the top and continue on its way back down and finish. This would be concluding how to program a cycle. At this point, program 3 is done.